to name the newly discovered species, which is a worm-like amphibian that belongs to the Sicilian species.
These myriapods have very poor eyesight. They have very simple eyes up front.
Our world is full of surprises, and scientists were definitely surprised when they found creatures that seemed too strange to be authentic. From a worm named after Donald Trump to a spider so big it looks like a monster in a movie, nature never stops amazing us. What are these weird creatures and how were they discovered? Join us as we reveal 5 new strange species that will make you see the natural world in a whole different way. You've never seen anything like this before. Glass frogs. Most people know Ecuador is a small country with a big reputation for its incredible wildlife. Although it is 35 times smaller than the United States, Ecuador is home to some of the richest biodiversity on Earth. In fact, this tiny nation is packed with 16% of all known bird species, 8% of all mammals, and 8% of all amphibians. It's no surprise that Ecuador is often called a biological treasure chest. Among its newest discoveries are 2 fascinating glass frog species, mashpi and nouns, found in 2022. These tiny frogs are a true marvel of nature, showcasing one of the most fantastic survival traits ever seen. But what makes the mashpi and nouns glass frogs so unique? Their stomachs are entirely transparent. Can you believe that? If you look closely, you can actually see their internal organs. Female frogs even reveal the eggs they carry inside them. This level of transparency might seem strange to us, but it's a clever trick that helps them survive in their natural habitat. These frogs live in dense forests, relying on blending into their surroundings to avoid being eaten by predators. Their see-through stomachs allow them to disappear against the leaves they sit on, making them almost invisible when viewed from above.
A very minimal amount of webbing, especially between the front toes and the back toes, I can actually see the bones.
This camouflage is necessary for such small creatures. Measuring less than an inch long, the frogs are tiny. They would quickly become prey if not for this incredible adaptation. By blending perfectly into the green leaves, they confuse predators and increase their chances of survival. The ability to hide in plain sight is not just a cool feature, it's a matter of life and death in the wild. Now, you may be wondering how this transparency works. The internal organs of these frogs are positioned in a way that matches the patterns of leaves and vegetation. This makes them even more challenging to spot. Scientists believe this adaptation evolved over millions of years to give the frogs an edge in escaping predators. Despite their tiny size and fragility, these glass frogs have developed one of nature's most brilliant survival tools. The discovery of these frogs also raises an important point about the hidden wonders of the natural world. Scientists were unaware of their existence for so long because of how well they blend in with their surroundings. Their discovery reminds us of how much of Earth's biodiversity is still unexplored. Who knows what other incredible creatures are hiding in plain sight? In every leaf, in every corner of a forest, there could be something extraordinary waiting to be found. The natural world never stops surprising us, and the mashpi and nouns frogs are proof of that. But hold on, don't think too far about this because the next discovery will blow your mind. Finger of death. When we think about strange and unusual animals, we often picture the wildest creatures imaginable. Ones that seem almost unreal, like they belong in a horror movie rather than our planet. But the truth is, the world is full of bizarre creatures, and scientists are still discovering new ones that surprise us in the most unexpected ways. One of the most fascinating examples of these strange animals is the recently discovered finger of death. The finger of death is one of the most chilling and bizarre creatures on Earth, and it lives up to its name in every terrifying way. Imagine an animal that can freeze everything it touches, leaving no chance for survival. This creature, known as the giant millipede, is far more than just a creepy crawly. It has a deadly power that makes it one of the most unusual and formidable beings in the animal kingdom. Now you may be wondering what makes the finger of death so extraordinary. Found in parts of Africa, this millipede secretes a toxic substance from special glands along its body when it feels threatened. The venom is potent and fast-acting, capable of immobilizing its prey within seconds. Think of a creature that can freeze something solid just by touching it. paralyzing any victim in its path. That's the reality for anything that crosses its path. This venom, called toxins, works by attacking the nervous system of the creature it touches. The venom's effect is swift, causing the prey to become stiff and frozen in place, making it unable to move. In fact, it's not just the millipede's enemies that are affected. It can even stun larger predators, leaving them with no chance to attack. But how does this finger of death work, and why does it have such a terrifying name? The giant millipede uses its venom as a defense mechanism. Unlike many other creatures that flee from danger, this millipede fights back by immobilizing threats, preventing predators from reaching its soft underbelly. It's a clever and deadly strategy, and one that has helped the millipede survive in the dangerous environments it inhabits. Dermophis donaldtrumpi. In 2018, a peculiar underground creature was discovered in Panama. This blind, worm-like amphibian burrows through the soil and has a surprising way of caring for its young by shedding its skin for them to eat. But what made headlines was not just the creature itself, but its unusual name, Dermophis donaldtrumpi. This name was chosen as a protest by a UK-based company against the environmental policies of the former US President Donald Trump. By naming this amphibian after him, the group wanted to draw attention to his controversial stance on climate change and environmental protection. Dermophis donaldtrumpi is a fascinating example of how strange and adaptable life on Earth can be. Its ability to survive underground, blind yet ideally suited for its environment, showcases evolution's incredible creativity. What if we told you that Trump isn't the only president to have species named after him? Barack Obama has 14 species named in his honor, ranging from spiders to extinct lizards like Obamadon. These names often serve as tributes, recognizing Obama's policies on conservation and his commitment to protecting the planet's biodiversity. In contrast, the naming of Dermophis donaldtrumpi has a different tone, showing the tensions between science and politics. Naming species after famous figures isn't new, and often reveals a playful side of the scientific community. For instance, there's a beetle named after Adolf Hitler, Anophthalmus Hitler, and a prehistoric shark named Carcharodon megalodon after its massive size. These names connect the natural world with human culture, combining scientific discovery with creative expression. But beyond the humor and politics, naming species can also serve as a way to draw attention to critical issues. Dermophis donaldtrumpi's case symbolized the urgent need to address climate change and protect vulnerable ecosystems. Amphibians like this one are often at the forefront of environmental struggles, as their delicate skin makes them very sensitive to pollution, habitat loss, and climate shifts. Pelican spider. The next incredible species discovered by scientists is the pelican spider. Nature often surprises us with creatures as strange and extraordinary as the pelican spider. This spider, named for its resemblance to a pelican due to its long neck and unique body shape, is one of the most unusual creatures ever discovered. Despite being roughly the size of a grain of rice, its fascinating appearance and behavior make it stand out in the spider family. For centuries, the pelican spider was thought to be extinct. The only evidence of its existence came from fossilized specimens preserved in amber, dating back around 50 million years. These ancient remains seem to be the last trace of this odd spider, leaving scientists to believe it had vanished forever. But in the 1800s, reports of living pelican spiders surfaced, and in 2019, researchers made a groundbreaking discovery. New species of pelican spiders were found in Madagascar, hidden in the remote rainforests on mountaintops. These isolated regions, challenging to access and largely unexplored, had kept the spiders a secret for centuries. What makes the pelican spider so unique is its strange appearance and unusual way of hunting. Unlike most spiders that rely on webs to catch prey, the pelican spider is a predator of other spiders. It's a spider hunter, targeting its arachnid relatives with incredible precision. The spider uses a sneaky approach. It follows the silk threads of other spider webs. It carefully plucks at them, mimicking the movements of an insect caught in the web. This trick lures the unsuspecting spider out of hiding, thinking it's about to see a meal. Once its target comes close, the pelican spider strikes with its long, beak-like jaws equipped with venomous fangs. These jaws are not just for show, they are deadly weapons. The spider impales its victim, injecting venom that quickly paralyzes the prey. After the attack, the pelican spider hangs its victim upside down and feasts leisurely. To many, this hunting method is gruesome and fascinating, showcasing nature's creativity and efficiency. So the discovery of the pelican spider in Madagascar is proof of the mysteries that still lie hidden in the natural world. Now, if you think you've probably seen it all, you might be mistaken, because I bet you've never seen anything like this next one. Extraordinary slug. When we think of slugs, we rarely imagine them as extraordinary creatures, but one type of sea slug, Elysia marginata, has an unusual ability you never would have thought it had. It can decapitate itself and regrow an entirely new body. This jaw-dropping skill is one of the rarest biological abilities in the animal kingdom, shared by only a few creatures, like starfish and salamanders. But what sets this sea slug apart is its ability to regenerate and the fascinating way it powers this process. But guess what? The secret is in its diet. Elysia marginata feeds on algae, particularly types rich in chloroplasts, the tiny parts of plant cells responsible for photosynthesis. When the slug consumes algae, it doesn't just digest it like other animals. Instead, it absorbs the chloroplasts into its own cells, essentially stealing the algae's ability to convert sunlight into energy. This process, called kleptoplasty, allows the slug to become solar-powered. Even after it detaches its head from its body, it can still survive and photosynthesize using the stolen chloroplasts. This provides the energy needed to regrow an entirely new body. But why would a sea slug need to perform such a drastic act as severing its head? Scientists believe this behavior evolved as a survival strategy. If the slug's body becomes infected by parasites or damaged in some way, it can detach the infected portion and start fresh. So by shedding its body, the slug escapes harm and ensures survival. It's an extreme self-preservation, showing how far evolution can push living organisms to adapt. The regeneration process is surprisingly quick. Within about 20 hours, the slug's head starts forming a new body. Over the next few days, a fully functional body emerges, with all the organs it needs to survive. This rapid regeneration allows the slug to recover and shows how efficient and specialized its adaptations are. What's even more fascinating is that this process is not just about survival, it's also about thriving. The ability to photosynthesize gives Elysia marginata a unique advantage in its underwater world. While other animals rely on constant feeding, the slug can generate energy from sunlight, making it less dependent on food sources. This ability makes it one of the most self-sufficient creatures in the animal kingdom. Undoubtedly, the discovery of this incredible ability has opened up new doors for scientific research. Scientists hope to find out new information about cell repair, energy production, and even human medicine by studying how the slug integrates chloroplasts into its cells and regenerates its body. Uncovering King Solomon's tomb. A team of scientists and archaeologists, led by Iset Mazar from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, discovered the location of Solomon's tomb in the city of David. But before this, in 1986, Dr. Eilat Mazar made a significant archaeological discovery, which she initially dated to the 9th century BCE. This discovery was a monumental gatehouse located about 150 meters north of the city of David, in the Ophel area. At the time, Mazar did not have enough evidence to attribute the gatehouse to King Solomon, and refrained from making such claims. In 2009, Mazar resumed her excavations at the Ophel site.
Now, all over the place, we have Iron Age, like First Temple period, floor layers, you can see.
And with more findings and a better understanding of the structure, she re-examined the dating of the gatehouse. Based on the new evidence, she concluded that the gatehouse likely dated to the 10th century BCE, during the time of King Solomon. Why should we believe this archaeological discovery by Mazar? Keep watching. Dr. Mazar was a brilliant scientist who placed tremendous importance in the scientific method. As an archaeologist, one of her favorite motto is, "We must let the stones speak." The late Herschel Shanks emphasized Dr. Mazar's qualifications in a 2007 Biblical Archaeology Review article. He said, nobody would question her professional competence as an archaeologist. Dr. Mazar is often regarded as a biblical scientist.
How can we make things as tangible as possible in light of the biblical stories and effects and narratives?
As she had no trouble incorporating the Bible into her science, in contrast to the great majority of scientists working today.
And the whole assemblage contains more than 30 bullae. And one of them attracted our special attention.
She was actually rather excited to do so. This is unlike many scientists and scholars nowadays who believe that science and religion are in opposition to each other. Mazar's expertise in the field is therefore a major contributor to this significant discovery. What makes this discovery even more astonishing is that they were not specifically searching for Solomon's tomb. Instead, they were looking for something even larger. Mazar and her team were excavating the oldest part of Jerusalem, aiming to find King David's palace, when they uncovered a large wall segment approximately 210 feet long.
Cave of the Kings in Arabic. What is this place? What is its nature? Who made it? And why? Let's follow Barkley in discovering this magnificent site.
This segment included a gatehouse, a corner tower, and a royal structure. The archaeologists were stunned by the wall's size, suspecting it might be part of an even grander building, such as a temple or palace. They were thrilled by the possibility that this structure was connected to King Solomon's reign. Radiocarbon dating indicated that the site was from the period when King Solomon ruled. Mazar noted that this was the first time they had found a structure from that era that could correspond to the descriptions of King Solomon's buildings in Jerusalem. But could this have been built by another king and not Solomon? Keep watching. Mazar explained that there were not many kings from the 10th century who could have built such a structure, essentially just David and Solomon. According to the Bible, King David, known for his battle with Goliath, was the father of King Solomon and is credited with constructing the first temple of Jerusalem on the Temple Mount. Ceramics discovered near the wall helped date the structure to the second half of the 10th century BC, which was the era of King Solomon. It was discovered that near the gatehouse, 3-foot-tall, 1-meter-tall earthenware storage vessels were found, one of which bore a Hebrew inscription indicating it belonged to a high-ranking government official. Other finds included figurines typical of 10th century BC Jerusalem, such as 4-legged animals and large-breasted women likely symbolizing fertility. Additionally, jar handles with impressions reading "to the king" and various Hebrew names were uncovered. It is therefore important to consider the historical and archaeological significance of this particular discovery. Historical and archaeological significance. Finding King Solomon's temple has been a monumental goal for archaeologists for many years, and the recent discovery of a wall segment in the Ophel area represents a historic breakthrough. The Ophel area is one of the oldest parts of Jerusalem and is believed to be where King David's palace once stood. This discovery has provided new information about the area's history, linking it closely to biblical traditions that state King Solomon, the famous king of ancient Israel, was buried in the city of David. This discovery has significant implications, as it supports the biblical portrayal of Solomon as a powerful monarch ruling a substantial kingdom, contrary to the minimalist view that he was an insignificant tribal leader. The city of David, named after King David, Solomon's father, is believed to be the oldest part of Jerusalem, situated just south of the modern-day Old City. This area is significant because it is thought to be the original settlement where King David established his capital after conquering Jerusalem from the Jebusites. Archaeologists have conducted extensive excavations in this area, uncovering many ancient structures and artifacts that shed light on Jerusalem's early history. The city of David, also known as Wadi Hilwe, is an archaeological site considered the original core of ancient Jerusalem during the Bronze and Iron Ages. Situated on the southern part of Jerusalem's eastern ridge, it lies west of the Kidron Valley and east of the Tyropoeon Valley, just south of the Temple Mount. The site features remains dating back to the Middle Bronze Age, including a defensive network around the Gihon Spring. Significant discoveries include the large stone structure and the stepped stone structure from the Iron Age, with scholarly debate on their association with King David or a later period. But there's even more that was discovered. Among the notable discoveries in the city of David is the Siloam Tunnel, also known as Hezekiah's Tunnel, which was built to bring water into the city. This tunnel exemplifies the advanced engineering skills of ancient Jerusalem's inhabitants. The Siloam Tunnel, traditionally attributed to Hezekiah, has been dated earlier based on recent excavations. Roman period remains such as the Pool of Siloam and the Stepped Street have also been unearthed. Today, the excavated parts are part of Jerusalem Walls National Park, managed by the Israel Nature and Parks Authority and operated by the Ir David Foundation, located in Wadi Hilweh, which is an extension of the Palestinian neighborhood of Silwan in East Jerusalem, adjacent to an Israeli settlement. Another significant find is the large stone structure, believed by some to be the remains of King David's palace. This massive building, if indeed connected to David and Solomon, highlights the city of David's importance as a center of power and administration during their reigns. While recent discoveries have broken records, including significant artifacts, previous archaeologists struggled to definitively locate any royal tombs belonging to Solomon or his successors. There are several reasons for this historical gap. One potential explanation is that these tombs remained undiscovered, as the city of David is expansive and not all areas had been excavated during earlier efforts. It's plausible that these tombs were still concealed underground, awaiting discovery. Another possibility is that the tombs may have been destroyed or heavily damaged over time due to Jerusalem's tumultuous history of wars and invasions. Ancient structures could have been buried beneath subsequent constructions. But that's not all. Archaeologists persisted in their quest for these royal tombs, recognizing the groundbreaking potential such discoveries held. Unearthing these tombs would provide crucial insights into the rulers of ancient Israel and their burial customs, enriching our understanding of that era. Despite the absence of royal tombs, the discoveries within the city of David were invaluable. They enabled archaeologists and scientists to reconstruct Jerusalem's history and the lives of its inhabitants during the United Monarchy. Each new find expanded our knowledge and clarified the past. Before the tombs were eventually located, numerous compelling theories, such as those concerning hidden chambers, abounded. Let us check out some of these theories and speculations. Theories and speculations about the tomb's location. Before Dr. Mazar's discovery, various theories existed about the location of Solomon's tomb. Some believed it to be beneath the Temple Mount, a site of immense religious significance for Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Among Muslims, the Temple Mount is known as Haram al-Sharif, the noble sanctuary. It is believed to be the site where the Prophet Muhammad ascended to the divine presence during the miraculous night journey, riding a winged horse. This event is commemorated by the Dome of the Rock Shrine, one of Islam's architectural marvels. The Temple Mount was a coveted territory, occupied or conquered by various peoples, including the Jebusites, Israelites, Babylonians, Greeks, Persians, Romans, Byzantines, early Muslims, Crusaders, Mamluks, Ottomans, and the British. It has witnessed numerous significant historical events, possibly more than any other 35 acres worldwide. However, archaeologists have had limited opportunities to explore the site for physical evidence to distinguish legend from reality. The site remains an active place of worship, and the controlling authority, an Islamic council known as the Waqf, has long prohibited archaeological excavations, viewing them as desecration. Apart from clandestine surveys of caves, cisterns, and tunnels by European adventurers in the late 19th century, and some minor archaeological work by the British from 1938 to 1942 during renovations of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the historical layers beneath the Temple Mount have largely remained unexplored. Therefore, even if Solomon's tomb is there, it is very difficult to locate it without proper investigation. Theories about hidden chambers beneath the Temple Mount remain just that, unproven theories, due to the lack of concrete evidence. In addition, some historical accounts and traditions mention royal burials near or within the vicinity of the Temple Mount. Ancient texts and stories suggest that kings, including Solomon, might have been buried close to this sacred site, adding to the mystery and theories surrounding the location of Solomon's tomb. One reason for believing Solomon's tomb could be near the Temple Mount is its connection to the First Temple, also known as Solomon's Temple, which was built by King Solomon and was a crucial place of worship for the Israelites. Given the temple's importance, it makes sense that Solomon's burial place might be nearby. But there are even more theories. Some historical texts hint at hidden chambers and secret passages beneath the Temple Mount, suggesting rooms or tunnels where significant items, possibly including the tombs of kings, were hidden. However, without the ability to explore these areas, it is difficult to confirm these stories. Limited archaeological investigations around the Temple Mount have not uncovered definitive evidence of Solomon's tomb. These investigations are often conducted carefully to avoid altering the site. While many interesting artifacts and structures have been found, the mystery of Solomon's tomb remains unsolved. If Solomon's tomb is indeed at the Temple Mount, as some theorists speculate, it would be a significant discovery not only for archaeologists, but also for everyone interested in history and religion. But this isn't the only theory that has existed about the location of Solomon's tomb. What other theories have emerged over time? Keep watching to find out. One significant location is Zedekiah's Cave, also known as Solomon's Quarries, a 5-acre underground limestone quarry under the Muslim quarter of the Old City of Jerusalem. Spanning 5 city blocks and carved over thousands of years, it is believed to have provided the stone for King Solomon's first temple and is the largest quarry in Jerusalem. The strong, erosion-resistant millipede limestone was well suited for royal buildings. The cave has a rich history, with legends of King Zedekiah hiding there from Babylonian soldiers and associations with the Freemasons, although these are mostly speculative. The cave is now open to the public with guided tours, although some areas remain closed for safety or ongoing excavation. Another speculated site is Zedekiah's Cave, also known as Solomon's Quarries. This vast underground limestone quarry has historical links to King Solomon, and local lore suggests it might contain hidden passages leading to his tomb. The cave's labyrinthine passages and mysterious air make it a compelling candidate for housing the long-lost burial site. Besides Zedekiah's Cave, archaeologists have considered Hezekiah's Tunnel, part of Jerusalem's ancient water system, as another potential hiding place for Solomon's tomb. This tunnel, dug during King Hezekiah's reign to prepare for an Assyrian attack, connects the Gihon Spring with the Pool of Siloam. It passes under the city, exposing sections of the western wall and featuring historical sites like Warren's Gate. Other proposed locations for Solomon's tomb include Mount Zion, traditionally associated with the city of David. However, this theory is based on a misconception. King David's actual burial site is in the southeastern area of Jerusalem's Old City, known as the City of David. French archaeologist Raymond Wile's early 20th century excavations in this area uncovered structures he believed to be royal tombs. While Mount Zion is traditionally associated with King David's burial, it is now believed that David was buried in the City of David, south of the Temple Mount. Consequently, the notion of Solomon's tomb being on Mount Zion is widely regarded as inaccurate. Archaeologists and scientists aren't the only ones who have proposed theories about the location of Solomon's tomb before its recent discovery. Some scholars have suggested Mount Zion, a hill in Jerusalem traditionally associated with the city of David, as a potential site for the royal tombs of the Davidic dynasty, including Solomon. However, this theory is based on a misconception. The widely held belief that King David is buried on Mount Zion is inaccurate. In reality, King David was buried in the southeastern area of Jerusalem's real Old City, south of the Temple Mount, in an area known today as Ir David, the City of David. According to 1 Kings 2:10, the Bible states that King David died and was buried in the City of David. It further states that David ruled over Israel for 40 years. He also ruled over Hebron for 7 years and Jerusalem for 33 years. After that, Solomon ascended to his father David's throne and established his rule. Despite this, Zion appears in the Tanakh as a reference to ancient Jerusalem. During the Middle Ages, Byzantine pilgrims mistakenly identified the hill south of today's Old City's Armenian quarter as part of ancient Jerusalem and named it Mount Zion. The city captured by David was actually on a lower hill to the south of the Temple Mount. This lower hill was the site of the Jebusite city, which became King David's capital and constituted the whole of Jerusalem for over 200 years, until it gradually expanded westward to include the area known today as Mount Zion. The erroneous notion that King David is buried on Mount Zion persisted for centuries. During the 2nd century CE, Jerusalem was razed, Jews were banished, and the knowledge of King David's tomb's actual location was lost. The first clue to the royal burial site's location comes from the Bible, which states that King David, his son King Solomon, and the kings of Judah who followed for the next 150 years were buried in Ir David. This likely refers to a subsection of the modern-day area known as the City of David. In 1913, French archaeologist Raymond Weil excavated what he believed to be tombs in Jerusalem's City of David, possibly the royal necropolis of the earliest Old Testament kings. Some scholars have since disputed this claim, but archaeologist Jeff Zorn's examination of the evidence suggests Weil might have been correct. While King David's tomb has been mistakenly identified with a location on Jerusalem's Mount Zion since the time of the Jewish historian Josephus, 1st century CE, earlier biblical references indicate that David and many other Old Testament kings were buried near the southern end of the City of David in ancient Jerusalem. But where exactly? Jeff Zorn believes we may already have the answer. Archaeologist Jeff Zorn believes these two quarried-out tunnels in the City of David may have once held the remains of the earliest Old Testament kings of ancient Jerusalem. 19th century diplomat and explorer Charles Clermont-Ganneau thought the winding path of Hezekiah's tunnel provided a significant clue. Clermont-Ganneau proposed that the tunnel's semicircular path towards its southern end was dug to avoid disturbing the burial grounds of the ancient Jerusalem kings that lay above. Weil directed excavations on Baron Rothschild's City of David property in 1913, 1914, and again in 1923, 1924. Although the area was significantly disturbed by later quarrying, Weil discovered ancient walls, ritual pools, cisterns, a circular tower, now thought to be a columbarium, and, most remarkably, 9 rock-cut features that he identified as tombs. Weil interpreted the 3 most prominent tombs, labeled T1, T3, as part of the royal necropolis of the Old Testament kings of ancient Jerusalem. After hearing these many theories, some believe Solomon's tomb was intentionally hidden to protect it from looters and invaders, a common practice for royal burials in ancient times. There are theories that Solomon's tomb could be in a less obvious location, possibly outside the traditional City of David area, due to political or religious reasons during later periods of turmoil. That brings us to the end of this video. What do you think about these strange new species? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click on the following video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.